Watching the Edmonton Oilers nowadays is like listening to that Michael Jackson album. It's bad. Really, really bad. Now, yesterday was kind of the worst part about it. By the way, it's a Michael Jackson lyric. I'm not calling the guy bad. He wants to be called bad because that's the entire shtick that he had on that record. But still, the Oilers yesterday went out there and proved to us all that even though you have yourselves two of the best hockey players in the world, it can still get worse. And worse and worse and worse with every passing game and every passing goal. Heading into yesterday's contest against the Ottawa Senators, the Oilers were already on a 5-game losing streak. Everybody's been kind of panicking. Okay, what's happening here? We don't know how this team is doing this poorly. Oh wait, we kind of do know. Dave Tippett, man, what the heck are you doing? And there have just been so many conversations going around about depth in the roster and scoring and top guys doing what top guys are supposed to be doing, if not a little bit less than that. And so when the Oilers jumped up in this game against Ottawa yesterday at home to a 3-1 lead to start off the third period, you could not imagine the shock on everybody in the hockey world's collective mind when Adam Gaudette scored at the start of the third period. And then Formenton scored, and then Zubs scored, and the Ottawa Senators had a 4-3 lead after 10 minutes, and then, okay, Darnell Nurse, he gets things back on the board. It's a tie game, 4-4 with about 8 to go. And then Norris gets one, and then Zach Sanford gets one, and the Ottawa Senators come back from down 3-1 to win this game in Edmonton 6-4. It's 6 straight losses here for the Edmonton Oilers, and now if you take a look at the NHL standings and you see where this team is in the Pacific, they're now below Calgary, they're below San Jose, they're below Anaheim, LA, and Vegas, above Vancouver by 3 points, which is not a good mark to be at. Come on, Vancouver is doing really poorly this season. And every passing game, the Oilers' playoff hopes look like they are starting to dwindle away more and more. They have 35 games played, so that indeed is one of the lower amounts in the NHL, let alone the Pacific Division. The Ducks have 41 games, the Golden Knights have 39, LA and San Jose have 38 and 39, so there is some catching up time if you want to go out there and say the Oilers still do have a shot of making the playoffs, but they're 2-6-2 in their last 10, lost 6 in a row over here. Their goal differential, what was once one of the better ones in the entire league, is now tied up at 0. They had 117 goals for, 117 against, and so this team has really gone out there and started losing their marbles. This is a post on Reddit that kind of highlights everything. Just how bad have the Oilers fallen? Since December 3rd, the Oilers have nosedived in nearly every simple stat. This is posted by Unhealthy Cheesecake, so thank you very much for posting this on the subreddit. What they did was they compiled a chart of the Oilers and their overall team statistics. It goes over team save percentage, goals for per game, goals against per game, power play percentage, and PK percentage. So these are some of the most basic stats that you can find for the Oilers and how their actual process has gone forward. If you take a look at how this team has performed from opening day to December 1st, they were getting a consistent .915 save percentage from their goaltenders. They were scoring almost 4 goals a game. They were allowing about just less than 3 goals a game. Their power play was at 35.94%. Their PK was at 87.69. Those are some very good numbers. From December 3rd to the present day, though, so after that little opening stretch, their save percentage has dropped to .870. That's all the goalies, not one Koskinen or one Smith blaming Koskinen and praising Smith or whatever. It's just the team save percentage in general. Goals for per game has dropped to about 2.5. Goals against per game, that metric from 2.9, it's gone up to 4.0. So they're allowing an entire full goal against per game since the start of December. Their power play has dropped off to 20%, and their PK has dropped off to 65.9%. My gosh. And just for the laughs, Unhealthy Cheesecake also labels Tippett's personal 12-game losing streak over here to an .864 save percentage, a .208 goals for per game, very bad, 4.25 goals against per game, even worse, 14% on the power play. You have McDavid and Draisaitl and Nugent Hopkins and all, okay, not Nugent Hopkins, you have all these guys out there, and it's this bad. Your PK is down there to 62%. That's like Vancouver Canucks bad right there. For context, since December 3rd, the Oilers have the worst team save percentage in the league. Yes, even the Kraken have gotten better goaltending than the Oilers. Not only that, since December 3rd, the Oilers have the second worst PK in the league, trailing only the Blackhawks. This is how the Oilers stack up against the league. In other stats since December 3rd, they have an .870 save percentage, 32nd, a 65.9% PK, which is 31st, a 20% power play, which is 20th, 2.5 goals per game, which is 28th, and 4 goals against per game, which is 30th. This team is wasting Connor McDavid. I kind of took a long time to get to that point, I get that, but we had to set up the context. 6 minutes to go over the game yesterday, and to go over all the stats that depict just how far the Oilers have fallen. I'm not gonna lie, I was a big believer in this team a few months ago. I made videos saying, yeah, they're blowing my mind. McDavid and Draisaitl are gonna get 164 points, and these guys are absolutely spectacular, and we should finally believe that this is the time. But ever since the start of December, it's been bad. Michael Jackson bad, and everything from here on out has just kind of gotten me more and more interested as to what the long-term future holds for the players on this team. Because everybody likes to ponder the idea, not even converse about it, but just ponder, internally think about it in your mind. What if Connor McDavid decided to leave? What if Connor McDavid one day was like, you know what? Screw this. Eichel got out of Buffalo. I can get out of Edmonton here, right? Connor McDavid is the most talented player we have seen in a decade in this league. And I kind of have to remind myself, he came into the league like 7 years ago, which is mind-blowing to me because I was in high school when we started talking about Connor McDavid. I was like grade 8 when he showed up on that magazine on Sportsnet saying that he was going to be better than Crosby. But it's been a decade since we had a talent enter the NHL akin to a Connor McDavid, and he's been frustrated. Definitely has been frustrated to the point where now he's endorsing the acquisition of Evander Kane. And yesterday, you saw the press conference. The guy looks so demotivated and demoralized, saying, yeah, we just blew it. We blew it. Ken Holland, this is your roster going all in? This is your win now team? Well, it's been bad the past little stretch here, but maybe the Oilers can go out there and get a little bit more redemption in their next road trip, right? Maybe they can go out there, get some wins. Okay, the Oilers are playing the Panthers twice, the Lightning, the Predators, the Capitals, and the Hurricanes in their next 10 games. All very, very good teams. And Biz Nasty says it himself, Edmonton might get right at this rate. And, yeah, it was a meme a decade ago. It stopped being a meme with Connor McDavid, but you want to talk about Taylor Hall, you want to talk about Nugent Hopkins, you want to talk about Yakupov, you want to talk about McDavid, you want to talk about Draisaitl, who wasn't first overall, but he's still very good. Shane Wright, is he next? And if they get Shane Wright, is he gonna be enough? Is one more franchise player what y'all need to go out there and start winning? Look, I'm supposed to hate the Oilers like a whole bunch of other people here in Vancouver hate the Oilers. Aggressively, and with no remorse, but I have a soft spot for this team. There are players on this team that I do like. Jesse Puljujarvi, of course. I like Draisaitl, been a big fan of him ever since his days with the Kelowna Rockets. Obviously, watching Connor McDavid is a treat. But I know I'm supposed to be laughing at these guys right now, but I was legitimately sort of excited when I saw the team winning all the games they were winning and seeing McDavid and Draisaitl put up all the points earlier on in the year. I was like, yeah, finally. Decades of failure and non-contentions and the same thing over and over again. The Oilers fan base is finally breaking free of that. And now it's like, okay, no, that's not the case. It's gotten even worse here in Edmonton. And so I feel kind of bad. I feel bad watching McDavid do the post-game press conference, and I think to myself, yeah, just looking at this guy and his demeanor and the way he's reacting to these questions that are all pretty poorly asked questions, to be honest, If we took a time machine to the year 2027 and we stepped out and we asked somebody who was a fan of hockey, hey, what team does Connor McDavid play for? If they say any other team than the Oilers, I honestly wouldn't be surprised. Would you? Talk to me in the comments all your thoughts about this idea over here. Are these conversations fair to have? Am I just kind of being nitpicky for the sake of getting YouTube views? Am I clickbaiting for the YouTube views? Talk to me in the comments all your thoughts. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.